Welcome to the Business Power Hour with Darren and the Music Man. Brought to you by Friend Entertainment USA, producing the best concerts for charities and corporations for over 30 years. And CBMS Consulting Services, control your business before it controls you. In association with Area 22 Productions, your multimedia streaming network. Now, here is Darren and the Music Man.
Who's really a fireball. She sits there quiet. But
she sits there quiet, right?
She's not so quiet.
She's nice and calm. She's quiet. Yeah, we know.
She's just waiting. So I'm going to let you handle her. I'm going to back up, and then the two of you can talk.
No, she's fantastic. So our next guest in our next charity or segment that we're going to be talking about is a charity that actually I only just heard about. We were talking about this. One of the best kept secrets in the tri-state area is an organization called Friends of Karen. All right, and we have Nancy Mariano with us, right? And Nancy, you told me a great story before about getting involved in a lot of great people. That you and Mariano Rivera are actually related because your last name, right?
Go a little closer.
So, Nancy, welcome to the show. Friends, tell us about Friends of Karen and what it's all about.
What do they do?
Okay, you said something first, though, about a lot of people haven't heard about us.
Right.
One of the things we always say that if it's an organization we wish that nobody would ever have to use,
Right.
and that we could go away, and if somebody could cure cancer, you would never have to hear about Friends of Karen.
Right.
And maybe someday that would happen, but what Friends of Karen does is we provide support for families that have children with cancer or any life-threatening illnesses from birth through 21 years of age that live in the tri-state area.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
How do you take care of them? What is it that you do? How do you help them out?
In 3 different ways: financially, emotionally, and we advocate for them. So advocating for them is to make sure they get every service that they need, whether it's social services or different insurance questions, or if they need, they can't afford their mortgage, we will fight with the banks to have that mortgage changed, whether it's over a longer period. Financially, we make sure that co-payments, transportation back and forth to a hospital, medical prescriptions. It's when a single mom might have to decide whether to put food on the table or to pay for a co-payment, no one should have to make that decision.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Unfortunately, many times burials. We make sure that anything that's associated with the medical condition gets taken care of.
So
As financial aid.
And as we know, if you find out all of a sudden you're being affected, okay, just talk a little bit louder. So you broke my train of thought there, Stephen, but that's okay. If somebody is afflicted with a disease, a life-threatening disease, and that's what we're talking about, right? And it could be anything. A lot of times they don't know what to do. And it's devastating that in itself, where people get into this panic mode and they're not thinking straight. So you'll come in, you'll provide the support that they need. You kind of become their rock, right? You're the go-to person, where they come and we'll use cancer because cancer, everybody is touched by cancer. If somebody in my family was afflicted, my child was afflicted with cancer, you guys would come in and say, hey, Darren, you got to make sure that this, and this are done, and making sure that all the bases are covered. So they're not going through it alone. You're there not only for the financial support, but the emotional support. So you have people that volunteer,
And education.
And staff, and education and things like that. Are those some of the things that
Right.
you guys do?
So the third thing we do is the emotional support. where, of course, we have to take care of the bills and things like that. We don't want them to lose their home while they're fighting for the child's life. And to me, the emotional support is probably the most important. And we consider ourselves a lifeline to these families, and the professional staff that we have of social workers that have been doing this, some of them for 30 years, and sibling support specialists that nobody thinks about the siblings.
Right. Yep.
Right? And our art therapists that are able to have the siblings express their fears, their anger.
So you bring the whole family in, and you're working with the whole family? You're working with
Yes.
mom and dad and the kids and the siblings? And
86% of our children have cancer, and cancer is a family event.
Does each child have their individual a therapist or person that works with them, so they get to know each other on a pretty close basis and they can feel comfortable? And especially the child or whoever has the cancer or whatever disease they may have, a one-on-one, so they feel that closeness. So they're not that's not a stranger each time they call.
Absolutely not. When they are diagnosed, most of our families come through hospital recommendations to the family. We are in about 26 hospitals. And we're the only ones that do this in the country, by the way, what we do. So when a family is assigned a social worker, that social worker will stay from day of diagnosis through treatment, hopefully cure, and if not, through any bereavement support that they may need.
Who was Karen?
Karen that's a good question.
Thanks.
Karen was the first child that we helped, that a neighbor went door to door trying to raise money so Karen could come home from a hospital. She was terminal. She ended up living 11 months at home under the best situation. There's no place like home.
right.
And when she passed away, there was money left over. And that's when we became a 501c3 40 years ago.
40 years ago.
40.
Right.
That's right. You just celebrated your
Yeah,
40th
40 years.
anniversary, right?
And from one Karen, we've helped 15,500 plus children.
Wow. That's and you know, people watching may say, well, it's only 15,000 over 40 years.
Oh, come on.
But you guys are only working in a small area, right?
Well, tri-state.
The tri-state area, right? So
Right.
you're New York, you're
It's 15,000 that people
it's
that wouldn't
15,000, but what I'm saying is some of
that
these
wouldn't have
organizations
been
have
helped.
hundreds of thousands of people that they've helped. That's what my point is that you're only working in a small area and you've helped a lot of people when you look at the whole.
It's not a quick fix.
No, never is.
Cancer could be 6 years. It could be maybe 6 months if you're lucky,
Right.
right? And it's not as serious a cancer as some others, or life-threatening illness that is not as serious. But most of the time, it's a long, long process.
Right.
And it's a very difficult journey. And if anyone tries to do it themselves, and it doesn't matter if you live on Wall Street. That really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all.
At all. So we make sure that we stay with that family and help them through this journey so they never feel alone. Because you said something in the beginning. It's so confusing when you get a diagnosis. There's so many options now, which is a good thing.
Well, you got to get over the shock in the first place.
Exactly.
That my kid or myself, I have cancer and it's this degree or that degree. What am I going to do?
Or the different treatments and the challenges of as a parent wanting to make sure you're making the right choice. And a lot of times, none of us are prepared for that as parents. You're not taught
Who
what
would
to
be?
do.
Exactly.
Right?
What do you do and how do you do it?
So when we step in there, our families will say, "I don't feel alone anymore," because it's we're not the medical staff. We
Right.
can't cure the disease, but we're the Christian at the end of the day. They put their head down and they are so grateful that they have this kind of support that they know they could turn to. They can call us at any time, and they know we're there for them. And to answer a question, they get that same person all the time.
I am sure that there are people that are watching and listening to us now that have never heard of Friends of Karen, that need your help, need the information. How do they reach you?
Okay, they can go on our website, friendsofkaren.org, or they can call. We have 3 different offices. I'm just going to concentrate on the Long Island
Okay.
office for the Long Island listening audience, and that's 631-473-1768.
Could you repeat that?
No,
Okay with me.
that was hard enough for me to remember that. You know, you just press the button now, right? You don't have to dial anything.
You know what? I'll repeat it for her.
You repeat it.
631-473-1768, and it's friendsofkaren.org or Friends of Karen on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Okay, so you can find them anywhere. Reach out if you need help or know somebody that needs help. Reach out.
Yesterday
Don't be
was
afraid
Reach
to
Out
ask.
Tuesday.
It was Charity Tuesday.
Charity
yesterday.
Tuesday, I'm
Wonderful
sorry.
day
right?
for us.
Yeah, it was Charity
Right.
Tuesday yesterday.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
you know,
that's
I wanted to ask you this question because Friends of Karen have been around for 40 years, but haven't been involved with them the whole 40 years. You've been involved with charities for a very, very long time.
I've been
Right.
with them 18 years.
Right?
And before that, I was with Special Olympics for 31 years. And it took me over a year to make the decision to leave Special Olympics and
That
to
was
come
tough.
and to come and open a Long Island office for them because everything was centered out of our headquarters in Westchester. We weren't able to give the personal care like you asked me before. Does a family get that same person? And we want to make sure the personal care is so important. The trust
Right.
is so important. So after a year of deciding, we opened the office. Our Long Island office is in Port Jefferson, and that's where
What is your position with Friends of Karen?
I'm the regional director for Long Island and Queens, and I'm in charge of corporate giving.
You're the boss lady.
No, we have a lot of people that.
So
Yeah.
now that brings up another great point. She's in charge of corporate giving. So you work with these corporations that will help raise money for your charity, correct?
Yes.
All right. So tell us a little bit
Okay,
about
cancer is a very expensive disease. And to be able to provide the services that we do and to pay the bills, and we have to make sure that we have our resources because we never will turn away a qualified family. Besides just doing the things that I mentioned to you before, we also have giving programs, very much the same as Habitat, Back to School, Holiday Adopt. Will be over 1,000 kids that we provide gifts for everyone in the family. Friends of Karen is a family,
Wow. Right. So you touch
Right.
everybody.
So if there's 5 siblings, 5 kids are going to get Christmas gifts. So to be able to run the organization and to maintain the support that we offer, we depend on the world to support us and to be partners with us. We really want them to embrace the work we do, not just a one-time thing. We want them to understand the work we do and to be a part of it.
So
to
you package something for each family? Is that how it works when you do the gifts for Christmas?
When we do the gifts, we get lists that each of our social workers reach out to their families, and each of our social workers have a caseload of about 45, 50 families.
Wow.
A lot.
That's a lot,
Too
yeah.
many. If we had more money, we could hire more social workers. And they get the list. And it used to be almost all toys, but 19-year-old, 21-year-old, obviously you can't give a toy, you give a gift card to. And it's sent, everybody that donates to us, we ask them to send it without not being wrapped. And we send it in brown paper to the family so they can wrap their own. We send the wrapping paper so it's not so charitable, and they can present the gifts on the holidays.
Could I offer you the same thing I
Absolutely.
offered Les?
Anytime.
You're going to have it for Christmas.
We have the Long Island Gala, which I would, because rather than give tickets to someone, a lot of times people give us sporting tickets for our families or wanted to go to an Islander game or something. Sometimes we get them, we get all excited, and sometimes the child isn't able to go.
Right.
Yeah, I've been there.
Right? So, but we do have an event coming up at Stonebridge. It's our Long Island Gala on March 28th.
March 28th. Okay.
So what do you need for that?
Tickets.
Done.
Good. That was easy.
See now,
And Darren's
you got?
accounting
see now,
services.
wait a second. You said
But I can do it.
you
He also
easily.
Say, I can do it.
Well, you offered less before we started the show, the tickets. So you get mad at me for giving less tickets.
I'm not mad at you. I'm just not talking to you.
We do have
I'm
we
teasing.
will have an auction and raffles, and any way we could raise that bottom line, and that's always very
Good.
attractive.
What does it cost to attend?
We're still negotiating that with the committee.
Is it going to be open to the public?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We have 2 wonderful honorees, and probably between $150, $200 a ticket.
Now, do you have an email list that goes out that you're constantly sending information out and things like that? So if I wanted to get on your email list so I can keep up to date as to when your galleries are happening or when you're doing any other type
All
of
they would
events,
have to do is call.
it's just give a call, or
Give a call.
is there
and
a
say they
sign
wanna-
up on the
they-
website
right,
or anything
exactly.
like that?
And I don't think that's a very good point, and maybe there should be to get on an email list.
Mm-hmm.
I can help make your database grow, but I'm not going to tell you how now because it's not for everybody, but I can guarantee to make your database grow.
Okay, that sounds wonderful.
People that you do not know and don't know your organization.
That would be very helpful. But if they call me, they can even ask for me at
Well-
that number.
What number is that?
You're going to make me do this.
I'll do it for you. 631-473-1768. Listen, if you can't donate now, and you can't, everybody this time of year is always looking for donations. They're always helpful. If you can't donate to Nancy's charity today, just keep her in mind and do it somewhere down the line. The next time you want to give, think of her charity or think of Habitat.
Or
for
if you
Humanity.
know someone who has a problem and they don't know of Friends of Karen, mention it.
Right.
Mention it. Help your friends out.
It's the biggest gift that anyone can do. I was just going
Yeah.
to say what you just said, that there are so many people that are in a situation and wondering how could this have happened to us, and they don't know which way to turn. And if somebody's listening to this and hears about Friends of Karen and our services, and you have a neighbor or someone you know, tell them to call Friends of Karen. And there's a
At what
process.
phone number? Only kidding.
And there's a process that they have to be a good partner as well.
Well, and that was what I was going to ask you. Are there, qualifications? We know Les says there was qualifications that you have to go through to become part of Habitat for Humanity.
Right. The only if we're going to financially help you, we need to know that you need financial help,
Right. Okay.
because there's so many people that do need it. So
Right.
we want to make sure that there's enough to go around.
Yeah.
So if you don't,
Can't
and mo-
haphazardly just hand out money.
Exactly. And we wouldn't want to do that to our donors. Our donors
Right.
are expecting that we know who we're giving the money to and that it's being used exactly. This is important. We don't give the family the monies. We pay the bills directly.
Oh, okay. See, you know what? I
That's
actually
huge.
like that. I like that because they're not worried. Now the family's not worried about getting a bill in the mail and going. Now they're handing the bill over to you, and you're
The
taking
car
care
payment,
of
the
it.
mortgage, the rent.
Right.
Because when a family is facing this and that child is in their home and so sick, and they think, it's Christmas time, we're going to get them an electric car,
Right.
right? Or they're going to go on a trip and they're going to come home and there's a padlock, this is a true story, padlock on the door because they didn't pay their mortgage.
Wow.
So we make sure that that's not going to happen. We are not a gift organization. We work with Make-A-Wish and Ronald McDonald House and things like that, but we make sure that the family is going to remain stable.
Right.
And one of the ways we do that is we make sure that they're going to stay in their home, it's going to be warm, the lights are going to be on, there's going to be food on the table, they're going to get the best medical help that they can get. And the only way that we do that is we're pretty strict with all that.
You have some crazy numbers here. The year or end type numbers of things and people that you've helped and monies that you've given and whatever. Sensational. You must have some marriage, the two of you. I mean, really.
It's all about giving.
It
really is.
That's whatever.
Well, I told you guys the story of us meeting initially as a fundraising conference, Philanthropy Day, and we were hanging banners in the Melville Marriott. And it was a business relationship as associates and then friends and then husband and wife, and we've been working together and helping each other tremendously. She's taught me so much. She's truly the professional, the consummate corporate fundraiser and friend to people. The relationship building that Nancy does is tremendous. And when I introduced her to Friends of Karen. She introduced me to Habitat. So this is how our life
Because of
together
him, I
began.
had this job, and
And
because
because
of
of
me,
you, he
has that job.
That's
And both of us
fantastic.
were employed. It wasn't like we were looking.
Well, both of you have been fundraisers, right?
Forever.
Forever.
Yes.
And you've been doing it, working with charities, and you pretty much taken your lives and dedicated to helping others. Because that's really what you're doing. Yeah, you're putting food on your own table, but at the same time, you're helping so many more people. And that's what people don't get sometimes, is that it takes a lot of work to do these things. I work for a charity, and there's not a lot of work involved. You're working weekends and nights, I'm sure, and both of you are.
Takes a lot out of your heart and out of yourself. Also, you see certain
though,
things that
I think you get so much more than you're giving out. Because I could talk for how I feel, and then Les could talk, but what these children and these families go through, and how I just got a letter that was shared from one of the social workers to me, and it was from a mom who wrote this beautiful letter back to our social worker, her name is Beth, about she just received a whole Thanksgiving basket for Thanksgiving and a coupon for a turkey, and she put the letter that was in the package on her front door, and she is so grateful for all the help that she's gotten throughout the year, that as soon as her daughter gets a little bit better, she is going to try to give back. Everything we do, and I didn't mention this, is at no cost to the family. They can't pay us back.
Right.
I mean, if they want to come on board and help us or join our marathon team, we didn't talk about all the fundraising efforts that we do.
we're going to.
Okay, but I'm going to share that story at advisory board. We have 62 people on our Long Island advisory board.
Wow.
And it's not the board of directors, it's just an advisory board. They roll up their sleeves, and their job is to help get the word out there. And Friends of Karen would not be successful without them. And we also have a New York City advisory board, besides our amazing board of directors. But our families is the reason why we all do it. Each one, you asked Les to give you a story. When you was asking that, I could think of every single one of them is a story, because these kids are warriors. What they go through and the strength of them. All they're worried about is most of the time mom. How's mom going to get through this?
Right.
And their sisters and their brothers, and not themselves. So when we all are woe is me about something, we all go through that. It's such a reminder when you see the spirit of these children.
Well, we all, like you just said, all of us sit there and go, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. And, you hear a lot of people say, you got to be thankful for what you have. And you actually get to see this on a daily basis, on how the little trivial things that go on in our lives really don't matter compared to what these kids are going through. And these kids are going through it like, no big deal.
They're amazing.
And it's, because I've heard those stories 1,000 times, how it seems like the person afflicted is the least affected by the affliction.
It's harder on the family.
Yeah.
In my office, I've given a sign to the people that work there, is count your blessings. And you may have
Yes.
a load of work on your desk,
Right.
but count your blessings.
I just went through 3 months of being in the hospital. 3 months.
As a matter of fact, Les was supposed to be on in September.
Yes.
And
That
that's
week.
when I had gotten sick. I couldn't make it, and Les wanted to be here when I was here. What I went through, and he's seen me, he's been at the hospital, whatever, is nothing. And I almost lights out for me in the very beginning. But Doc brought me back. But I've seen these kids You know, when I had to go to Sloan Kettering for somebody else, I see those children being carried by their mom and dad and what they're going through. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, I bitched and complained, okay, because it was affecting me. But you can't, as compared to what it is for a child or some of the other things that people go through. I was very lucky. That's all.
Can I?
Can I tell a story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead. And then I want to.
Okay. His name is Lionel, and he had cancer. I want to say leukemia. I'm not absolutely sure. And he got a Make-A-Wish, and he was going to go to France to help his French, which I learned later he really can't speak French. That's good. And he got the wish, and then he relapsed. So Make-A-Wish held back that, and he was a friend of the Karen family, and came from a very proud family. And when he recovered, Make-A-Wish said, "Okay, it's time to give you the wish." He said, "I don't want my wish. I want the money that you were going to give me and my family to go to France. I want you to give it to Friends of Karen."
Wow.
Now, there's a lot of nonprofit rules, so a nonprofit isn't, if you give Friends of Karen money, you're expecting it to go to the family, so, right? And Make-A-Wish has their own. So Make-A-Wish went to their board and said, "This is what this child wants,"
That's their wish.
Yeah. And the wish was granted.
Wow. That's
Right.
fantastic. That is fantastic. Well, it goes to, like he was saying, it's like you're so thankful for the things that you have. Now you want to help others.
Yeah. And he's in college, and I just got
that's
an
great.
Email today that I'll be home in December. Can we have lunch? And you
nice.
asked,
That's great.
with the relationships stay with so many of these families.
It's very similar to what Les goes through, where you create those bonds, and your bonds are, super, super tight because of the situation.
And you have the flip side, because unfortunately we do lose children.
Yeah.
Not as many as we used to, thank goodness to the medical advancements, but we lose children. And so you have that other side,
Right. Yeah.
the sadness.
Yeah. So we're coming to
I just want
the
to add,
end. So
can I add
don't-
one quick story?
Absolutely.
Friends of Karen story, because you didn't mention Evelyn and Luke, but to give back. Friends of Karen every year has had a team, a lot of people, hundreds of people involved at the Long Island Marathon, running the 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon, to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for Friends of Karen. Evelyn's son Luke was diagnosed with cancer 10 years ago,
Like
almost 15.
Yeah.
Luke survived, but because they were helped by Friends of Karen, Evelyn put a team together to run to support Friends of Karen. So the family was helped, and now 15
And
years
now
later,
the
Luke
years-
is a 6'1" healthy teenager. The whole family comes from Connecticut to participate still in the Long Island
Wow.
Marathon.
That's
Good story.
That is fantastic.
We honored her at Stonebridge, the event that is coming up in March last year, the whole
Right.
family. So Luke, who we know as a little guy, is now like, I don't know, 6-something, and his whole family cried on stage. Luke spoke
wow.
on his own behalf. His mom spoke crying and everything. And
I'm sure she's quite
it's such a
grateful.
beautiful story,
Great
and they're
journey.
still involved.
Well, see,
Before we get late, let's talk about your events that are coming up
Yeah,
so
what's
people
coming up?
can attend.
Okay, we just had our gala in Manhattan. We have
How'd that gala do?
it was amazing. 40th anniversary, and we worked so hard. All the Friends of Karen from every office, and
How many people did you have?
650
Whoa.
in Manhattan, and we raised close to $1.2 million.
wow, fantastic.
Great number.
Amazing event.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And that helps, but it's not enough. It never
Well,
is.
it's not enough.
It's never
that
enough.
brings us back to here.
So
Right.
one more time, if you could let everybody know how they
I thought you were gonna do that for me.
I'll you know what, I'll do it for you, Nancy. All right, if you want to get a hold of Friends of Karen, or you want to donate or reach out to them to see how you can help, you can either call them at 631-473-1768, reach them at friendsofkaren.org, that's their website, on Facebook, Friends of Karen, on Twitter, Friends of Karen, or LinkedIn, Friends-of-Karen.
Very good.
Okay. So that's how you can reach them. So I do this every time we have the charities on. Please reach out and help. Everybody needs help. If you can't do it now, if you can't, contribute money now, think of them about the next time you have some.
You write it down. Put it on your refrigerator.
Yeah.
Les, again, give your
one more
phone
time,
number
Les.
so that people can get in touch with you
Thanks
too.
again. It's 631 Habitat. That's 631-422-4828. And habitatsuffolk.org is the website.
All right.
Do you have any events coming up at Habitat that you want to talk about?
Just every week we're building, so we need teams to come out and help us to build. Volunteers can sign up as walk-on volunteers, and we'll build through the winter year-round.
And business owners, team building exercise, contact Les. You can get your team out there. You can really do some team building together by swinging some hammers.
Do you
All
have
right?
any more events coming?
That's the next. The next one is on Long Island is the gala,
Okay.
All right.
and then we go right to the Long Island Marathon after that in
Okay.
May.
All right. So thank you guys for being
Thank
on the
you.
show. We really
Thank you.
appreciate
You're a
it.
great guest.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Great guest.
All right.
Really good.
All right,
So what's
my
coming
friend.
up with you?
Well, let's talk about you. You got.
Okay, let's
this
talk
weekend.
about
You got
me.
something. You got something coming up this weekend, don't you?
Yeah, Friday night we have John Fogerty concert.
Right.
Creedence Clearwater Revival. The show is doing really, really good. I think we have about 20 tickets left.
Wow.
They've done very, very well, so I'm excited about that. And then we have Donna Summer shows coming up. We have the Temptations and Gladys Knight and the Pips coming up in
And if people want to find out this information, where can they find it?
they're going to go to 631-698-9696. That's 631-698-9696. And on Sunday, those of you that like bingo, I'm going to be a bingo host for Camp Good Morning. I don't know, did you ever hear of Camp Good Morning? It came to my attention because morning was spelled MOURNING, and it's about kids that have lost a parent. And since I lost a parent
Parent
at
or
the
sibling.
age of 10, okay, it hit me.
Wow.
So we hooked up.
Where is it? Where?
It's going to be in Nassau. I mean, if you call me at 631-698-9696, I can give you all the information. And it's bingo. Who doesn't like to play bingo?
No, everybody loves to play bingo.
Okay, well, you got
All right.
45 seconds.
I got 45 seconds, and I got a lot of things going on.
Go for it.
Next Wednesday, Building the Business Owners Roadmap at the Miller Business Center in Center Reach. Okay, sign up, guys. Sign up. Seats are starting to fill up over there. Okay, that's going to be Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. It starts 8:30, coffee and donuts and a little schmoozing. And then on Friday from 5:30 to 7:30, I'm going to be at the local authors showcase, because as we know, I wrote a book. And I'm going to be there from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Middle Country Library in Center Reach.
You serving dinner?
Actually, no, we're not
5:30 to
we're not
7:30
serving
on a
dinner for
Friday
that.
night?
I do have a Christmas party to go to.
All right.
And for those of you who want to get in touch with me, you can reach me at 631-721-4347, or my website is cbms.co, no com, just .co, or on Facebook, CBMS Consulting. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our guests for being
Great
on the
guest.
show tonight.
Great guest.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Have a great week. Have fun. Keep on eating because it's December now. So
It's
now it's
right. It's
time
just
to
gonna keep going.
Keep on going and going and going. All right.
All right. Have a good night,
everybody.
Today's show is brought to you by Friend Entertainment USA, producing the best concerts for charities and corporations for over 30 years. And CBMS Consulting Services. Control your business before it controls you. In association with Area 22 Productions, your multimedia streaming network. If you're interested in being a guest on our show, visit our website at www.bphdmm.com for more information.